Awesome. Hi, Phoebe. It's so nice to
Hi,
meet you. How are you?
lovely to meet you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited to talk to you and obviously so excited to talk about this movie. I'm so excited for people to see it. So, congratulations, first off.
Thank you so much. By the way, I love your La La Land poster in the background. That's like that's my top four, that movie.
Oh my gosh, I know. I'm like, I gotta get some more movie things in the background.
Yeah.
But perfect segue. I grew up loving spy movies. So when I first heard about Inheritance, I was like, oh, this absolutely is something that I will be watching.
I
Did
love that.
you, yes, did you ever imagine yourself, whether growing up or even kind of picturing yourself recently as a spy, the way that so many people who grew up on something like Spy Kids did?
Oh yeah. I mean, I was the same as you. I loved spy movies growing up. I'd watch everything and yeah, so I always wanted to do one, and this sounded like a whole new take on the spy movies we've seen. So yeah, it felt like the kind of perfect challenge in a way.
Absolutely. Would you consider yourself a risky person the way that Maya is, or do you kind of play it a little bit more safe?
No, I definitely play it safe. I think in my teens, I certainly was. Like,
Yeah.
I was a little daredevil when I was a young teenager, but now, um, yeah, now not at all. And I very much hid behind Maya, for that in that time that we were shooting the movie. Because I mean, there were some things that she does in the movie that were kind of we were doing for real because of the kind of stolen aspect of
Yeah.
shooting the movie. So there were so many circumstances that, you know, were kind of hairy at times. But I hid behind Maya and when things got out of hand, I would like switch and put on my very British accent and be like, "We're shooting a movie." Um, but yeah, it was fun to hide behind such a daredevil risk taker. Maya's, yeah, she doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there a kind of freedom in that of doing something that you normally wouldn't do in your regular life without the same repercussions?
Oh, big time. Yeah. Oh my God. There was such a freedom in playing Maya. And also, the way we shot the movie, what you weren't waiting around for camera setups or lighting setups or anything like that. It was very much like as soon as we started filming, we would keep going until we got everything we needed at the end of the day. So it was whole days of kind of being Maya and being in her world and walking through the streets as her and interacting with people as her. So that was a really fun challenge and yeah, something I'll probably never get to do again in the same way. And I was really aware of that when we were filming it. So I just enjoyed kind of living in her shoes.
Yes. Were there any particularly gnarly stunts that you did? I know you mentioned kind of, I definitely
Yeah.
want to talk about the sunglasses scene in a second, but in
Yeah.
terms of the actual like physical exertion that you were kind of giving to this role, I would love to hear if there were any kind of stunts that were really memorable.
Yeah, I mean, definitely being on the back of a motorbike in India was pretty scary. We had a great stunt driver, but they were real cars around us and like real tuk-tuks, and
Yeah.
we're really kind of weaving through the streets of Delhi, and hoping that other people are driving safely. Because though it wasn't the normal on most movies, everything is kind of made safe for you and the cars, that they're going to stop at a certain point and nothing bad's going to happen, hopefully. But with this, it was a lot of just like hoping for the best and hoping it would work.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm definitely someone who also plays it safe. So I love
Yeah,
talking about this and kind of living vicariously almost.
I know. I know.
Yes. And so I feel like spies are the epitome of being sexy and confident. And I would love to know what your best advice is for feeling sexy and confident. I saw someone tweet in all caps, Phoebe Dynevor, slay my life, you flawless queen. So all of us kind of agree that you just exude so much grace and confidence. And I'd love to know if you have any advice about that.
I would say I'm the dorkiest, most ridiculous human being in real life. And I have none of that. I for some reason, when I walk on a carpet or I do a photo shoot, I am able to kind of switch into, I don't know, I guess that mode, whatever that mode is. But
Right.
usually I'm just, yeah, very dorky. Um, but I guess my advice is like fake it till you make
I think that's
it.
great advice. Honestly,
Yeah.
we all gotta do it sometimes.
Yeah, because we're all feeling the same. We all have our insecurities, we all have our things, and I think it's the only way is just to, you know, put on a front.
Yeah, absolutely. You have played so many incredible characters that so many of us have loved over the last few years. And I have to ask, what do you think Maya and Daphne Bridgerton would talk about if they got brunch?
That's such a good question. What would they talk about over lunch?
Over brunch, lunch, a chat.
God, it's funny because they literally have absolutely nothing in common in a
Right.
way. I have no idea. I mean, I suppose they both, the only thing in common is that they both have their fathers aren't around.
Mhm.
That's kind of it. Maybe they'd like
Yeah.
talk about that.
They skip the small talk, they go straight to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One has a shitty father and the other one's it's not around he's not around. So maybe they just discuss that. I don't know.
Listen, that I feel like that would make them very close very fast.
Yeah, exactly. Trauma bonding.
Exactly. So we briefly mentioned earlier the sunglasses scene, which, to my understanding, you basically shoplifted sunglasses before returning them so you could film the scene. Would you
Yeah.
consider yourself a sneaky person, or did kind of the way that day unfolded surprise you?
I'm not a sneaky person. I'm like, yeah, definitely not. But I put a lot of trust into our director, Neil, and he knew exactly how to steal the sunglasses. And he
Mm,
said that there's no way I would get caught. So I trusted him and I did what he said and it worked. And I couldn't believe it worked. I was like, oh my God, I was walking out of the shop like, I got away with it. I got away with it. I got away with it. And then, of course, we put them back. So
yeah.
nothing was on. But
Right, right, right. Just so the people know.
yeah, and I don't recommend ever doing it
No.
because usually you will get caught.
Right. Are there any other organic, crazy scenes like that that you've been dying to be asked about that you want to talk about? Because I know, I believe you also dealt with the police in New York filming
Yeah, that
one
was our
scene.
first day of shooting, and that was really scary because
Yeah.
I was like, Neil would kind of say, stay in character as much as you can. We can see what we can get. If real people come up to you, that he wanted it to feel authentic in that way.
Mhm.
So I would stay in character as long as possible. And when I saw the cops coming over and I had like literally a bottle of tequila in one hand and a cigarette in the other, and I was like scaring children on the street.
Yeah.
And cops came over and I kind of stayed in character for a minute because I thought that Neil might be getting something good, not that we could use it, but it got to a point where I had to very like really turn on my British accent and be like, we're shooting a movie, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
Um, and it was okay in the end. But yeah,
Okay,
there
good.
were moments like that were a little hairy.
Yes. Were there any other moments like that that were really memorable that you feel like you'll be talking about for a really long time?
Um, gosh, there were so many moments. What can I mean, just like all the stuff, we're shooting on that the very old train in India that was pretty that at one point I have to jump off it basically and run out. And the train doesn't know we're shooting a movie, so we just have to pretend like, you know, guess that it's going to be safe and the train's not going to go. And there were so many moments like that. We were shooting on real airplanes, so the air hostesses would at some point come over to us and be like, "Can you stop shooting?" And we'd have to finish the scene, so we just keep going.
Yeah.
And airport security as well. That was really scary because they don't let you shoot in airport security, but we were really shooting through airport security. So all of those kind of moments. we had real policemen in Cairo that were like those armed gunmen that come into the restaurant in Cairo. They're real armed gunmen. So they're not actors with fake guns. So there were so many moments that were just like, oh my God, we're kind of really doing this.
Yes. Do you feel like the experience of making this made you braver or kind of think about life moving forward differently?
Passion, no. I think I was like, I never want to
Right.
feel like that again. I'm gonna
Yeah.
stay really safe. But
That's so
there
valid.
was like such a freedom about it.
Yeah.
Uh that I have so many memories from it. But yeah, I don't need to go and do that in my real life.
No, right. So, excuse me. You I love the cast of this movie, and you've worked with some incredible people in the past. You're also starring opposite Zac Efron in a new movie. I would love to hear what it was like working with him and if you guys did anything fun off camera.
We do anything fun off camera? I don't think we did do anything fun off camera. It was such a short shoot, and we had
Yeah.
so few days to shoot the movie, very small budget. So we kind of it was kind of just go, go, go. But
Yeah.
Zach's phenomenal in this. He's like it's a totally different side of him that I've people have never seen before, and
Mhm.
um, it's a really fun movie. It's weird and wacky and wonderful, and Zach's incredible, and yeah, I'm excited for people to see it.
Yes. As someone so my first job in high school, I had to have an English accent. So accent work has always really
Oh my
fascinated
god!
me.
Wait, why?
I worked at a living museum, so we taught people about history and dressed up, and it was a whole thing. Honestly, it was
Stop!
really
And you
fun.
had to do the accent the whole time?
Yeah, I was like 14, I think, when I got the
Oh
job.
my god! Did you like learn how to do it, or
I grew up on like English TV and English movies, so I thought
right?
it sounded good. TBD on if
That's
it actually
so
sounded good.
funny.
But I would love to
Wow.
know if there is a phrase or any kind of TV or movie that helps you get into an American accent that you tell yourself or that you practice at the beginning of a day.
Um, That's a good question. The only thing that springs to mind is recently I did a movie and I had to my husband in it was called Eric,
Mhm.
and Americans say like Eric instead of
Yeah.
like Eric. And so I would walk around my hotel room saying Eric over and over again to the point where it started to sound so weird to my fiance who's an American. He was like, "Why are you saying Eric?"
Yeah.
It's like a fine line between a few words, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's one of them.
I love that. And final question, as we kind of approach Valentine's season, the season of love, I would love to know if you have any Galentine's Day plans because we love Galentine's Day at Brit& and Co.
Valentine's Day plans, I don't have anything planned. I am not a planner because I just don't know where I'm gonna be, but, I love the best Valentine's Day for me is, like, wine bar and,
Oh
like,
yeah.
some cheese. That's, like, a little, like, romantic date night, wine night with your girls.
Yes.
That's the way.
Love it. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for chatting with me. I'm literally so excited for everyone to see this movie.
Aw,
Congratulations
thank you.
again.
Thanks, Chloe.
Thanks. It was so nice to meet you.
You too. Take care. Have a good day.
Yes, you too.
Recording